everyone, this is Lucy and I am sharing another video with you. This is part 2 of my buying process, of my experience purchasing my property in Andalucia, Spain. Disclaimer, again, everyone's buying experience may be a little different. Just do your due diligence and your research so that you can have a smooth buying process. So let's recap from the first video. So the first video I talked about preparing your budget, planning your viewing. I gave you a couple of real estate listings, the ones that I looked at, and also, talked about the reservation fee, which will kind of freeze that price for the property that you're interested in. That reservation fee will also go towards your purchase price. So if you put $3,000 euros down, then that 3,000 euros will go towards your the purchasing price of your property. Again, you want to get you a lawyer, a solicitor, which is a lawyer, and that lawyer will also do his due diligence. He will do his research to make sure that the property is good to go as far as the sale, as far as if anything's owed on the property, like taxes, to make sure that the seller who is selling the property is indeed the person who's lawfully able to sell that property to you. And the lawyer will also do his investigation, as far as the land registry and things like that. Also, the lawyer will help you get your NIE number, as well as set up your bank account and things like that, so that you are able to transfer your money over, or if you are interested in buying the property through a mortgage type of situation. I paid cash for my property, so my sale process was different as opposed to someone who is trying to purchase property like with a mortgage. So again, you can always check online, check with your, talk with your lawyer, check online, do your research, make sure that, you know the ins and outs of purchasing a property in the Andalusia region. So the next step that we briefly discussed was, so the signing the private purchase contract. That contract, you're going to put down a 10 to 20% deposit, and that 10 to 20% deposit, both parties, sign this contract. This is a legal binding contract. So again, to recap from last video, if you decide to pull out, then you will lose your 10 to 20% deposit. If the seller pulls out at this point, changes their mind, then the seller has to return double the amount of your deposit. So so in between this time, you would also, if you're unsure about the property, if you feel like you need to do a little bit more of a research about the property, you can hire a surveyor. And the surveyor is probably between 50 to 100 euros, depending on what you want. But the surveyor will check into the property to make sure if there are any major things that possibly could be wrong with the property. So that's important. So once you're satisfied with everything and you think that this is the property for you, which in my case, like you saw on the first video, the properties that I viewed and the ones that I decided to purchase. So then the next thing is that you will sign the title deed, which is the Escritura de Compraventa. And this is the title deed. It's signed before the notary or the notario. And when you sign this, you must have your final payment and all documents and all relevant purchase taxes. So on the next video, we're going to be talking about the purchase taxes, but for right now, so the notary, there are some fees that are involved in this step. So you want to make sure that you will have the fees for your documents. I would suggest that you bring maybe, depending on the price of your property, 10 to 20% extra in your money so that you can pay your fees and your taxes, and things that go along with that. And so the notary will present the documents. Once everything's signed and all relevant purchase taxes have been paid, the notary will present all documents to the land registry for registration, and the property then becomes yours. You also want to make sure that you have, once you open your bank account, that you also have the insurance for your property. And then also have all of your, at this point, once the property becomes yours, all of the service contracts, like your lights, your electric, your water, and your telephone, things like that will be placed in your name. The property should also be registered in your name as a new ownership with the local town hall, which is called the ayuntamiento. And the lawyer or agent can help you with this process, with this step. So thanks for watching. In the next video, I will be going over the taxes and anything that I left out from video 1 and 2. So yes, I had a very, very great lawyer who pretty much handled everything for me, which is important. So you also want to make sure that if you are not fluent in Spanish or can understand written Spanish, then you need to have your documents translated, which is going to be an extra cost as well. And you want to make sure that you have hired a lawyer that is able to write and speak in English if you are coming from the United States buying property. Again, this is my experience as a United States citizen buying property over in Andalucia, Spain. Everyone's buying process will be different based on, one, the amount of your purchase, what you're looking for, the area that you are looking in, etc., etc. Andalucia, Spain has a different buying process than, for example, the rest of Spain. So you want to do your due diligence and just make sure that you are looking and knowing the laws for that region. And once again, thanks for watching. And thank you for your patience. This is, content creating and sharing my journey. This is new for me. So if you are interested in more videos, just please like and subscribe, and it helps my algorithm so that I can share more content with you. And again, thanks for watching. P.S. Love, Lucy.